Appreciate it.
That's Humboldt head coach Rod Mooney of his pregame thoughts. When we come back, we'll chat with Algona Bulldog head coach Noel McLaughlin on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
We've got more sports club members bringing you this broadcast.
Camco Tires, they're all you need to know about tires and service.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
Reeb's Wicked Good Bar and Grill. For wicked good food, drinks, and service, you gotta go to Reeb's.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Sway City, and the surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy services.
Algona Pizza Ranch, there's so much to love.
West Bend Ford, meeting your service, new and used vehicle needs.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
All sponsors of this game broadcast.
Where you bank matters. Hi, I'm Sherry Bankin at Security State Bank, and we're relationship bankers. We get to know our customers and understand their financial needs. We're locally owned and operated, which means family, community, and service always comes first. So come to Security State Bank. We'll treat you like family. Security State Bank in Algona, Burt, and Laverne. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Security State Bank.
Coming up to girls North Central Conference basketball action tonight on Home Country Radio KLGZ as the Algona Bulldogs take on the Humboldt Wildcats. And joining us as always on the pregame is Bulldog head coach Noel McLaughlin. Coach, thanks again for your time today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Tyler.
Starting things off, Coach, let's go back to Tuesday night as you guys picked up a key North Central Conference win, 57-39 over the St. Edmund Gales. The first thing that really stands out about that game is the ways you guys played defensively. You held their star player, Eden Horn, to just 2 points. She didn't make a field goal the whole night. So starting off with that end of the ball, how were you able to accomplish that and really shut down Horn in that win?
Well, it was definitely, I would say, a team group effort, combined with Kate playing, matching up on Eden Horn, and then the front side help with Bella Jo Dunning. She was kind of sagging in the middle, and then just everyone else being aware. Instead of getting your help, in that gap towards the ball, your help's got to kind of back up and towards that post. So just looking at our assignments, knowing the personnel, knowing what St. Ed's wants to do with the basketball, that was a key piece to us. Is hey, slow them down inside. We can't let her hit the boards. We can't let her get going.
And, Coach, that was a game where the Bulldogs shot the ball really well on threes. How were you able to really generate a lot of competitive looks in that St. Ed's game?
Well, I think a lot of what we've talked about all year is just being aggressive and being ready, get downhill, set your teammates up. But more importantly, when you're open, let it go and trust that you can shoot the ball well, and then we're going to crash the boards hard offensively as well. But I think that mentality, and it came out, we hit 12 threes, which for us is shooting the ball really well that night. We shot 50% from three, so we were very happy with the way we shot it.
And, Coach, we've seen, especially in this 5-game win streak, but overall after winter break, Bella Jo Dunning is really starting to develop for you guys as a passer, put up some good assist numbers. How have you seen that aspect of her game improve over time?
Well, she's playing a lot more on the perimeter this year, and in years past was predominantly inside. We've talked in the past about her versatility inside, outside. She handles the ball a lot more for us this year. Her and Hayden both. A year ago, those ball handlers are gone, and it was Hayden and Bella don't dribble it. This year, they're handling it pretty well. And so with that comes just the ability to see the open person and being comfortable with the ball in her hands and having it more often.
We're talking right now with Algona girls basketball coach Noel McLaughlin. Coach, tonight, Battle of Highway 169 as you guys take on Humboldt. And it's a Humboldt team that deserves a little credit as they graduated a lot of players from last year's team, but still off to a 7-7 start this year. What stood out to you about Humboldt in your preparation for tonight's game?
Well, two words, Ava Fisher. She is a really good player. She shoots it really well. She'll shoot 15 to 18 threes a night, and she shoots it at a high percentage. And she's doing that. A lot of credit to her. She's doing that with a lot of pressure, a lot of defenses, double teams, face guarding. She's got a really good release. She's got a good feel for how to get open on the shot. And I'm really impressed with her ability to stay calm and carry her team offensively.
And, Coach, to take that a step further, that was right into my next question because, of course, the aspect of this game defensively is how do you slow down Ava Fisher? How do you make life kind of tough for her tonight?
Well, we like to take away the other team's strength and what do they want to do. And so she's obviously our key. and they're going to set a lot of ball screens for her. And so when she doesn't have it, you got to make it tough for her to get it back. When she does have it, you got to have a lot of help, and you got to talk on screens. You got to get through screens. If we're switching, you got to switch screens. But it's communication probably is the number one piece. How are we guarding this? When she has it, what's coming? What are they trying to do? And know where she's at. In transition, you can't lose her. You got to pick her up, and that takes a team effort. If the person assigned to her is not close, somebody else has to step up and guard her for that possession.
Coach, wrapping up our interview for today along those same lines, what do you see as the biggest deciding factor in tonight's game?
Defensively, for sure. I mean, we've hung our hat on that all year. This is another example of, there's going to be long shots. This is a perimeter-focused team. They're going to shoot threes. With that long shots come long rebounds. Defense will get our offense going with our break, but it's going to start there. We'll see some zone, I think, as well. We'll see some pressure. They like to run a 2-2-1, take care of the basketball, but starts with play some defense and rebound the ball.
Coach, we appreciate your time getting on the pregame and wish you best of luck tonight against Humboldt.
Thank you, Tyler.
Algona girls basketball coach Noah McLaughlin with his pregame thoughts. When we come back, we'll get ready for tip-off in the Battle of Highway 169 as Humboldt takes on Algona on Home Country Radio KLGZ.
For over 40 years, Northwest Iowa bone, joint, and sports surgeons have maintained one mission: to provide excellence in orthopedic care. Their team of 9 physicians offers specialized care in everything from arthroscopic same-day surgery to joint replacement, as well as hand and foot surgery, and have an orthopedic surgeon on call 24/7. Healthcare isn't about appointments, it's about taking care of people, and that's their specialty. Visit Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons on the web at nwiabone.com.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
AK's Chrome Kitchen. When you come in, your family.
Algona Frame and Auto Body. We meet by accident.
Algona Livestock. Sales every Monday.
Weikert Realtors. The 515 Agency. A fresh approach to real estate.
Algona Plumbing and Heating, where a good flush beats a full house.
Cotton Grave Farm Management and Land Realty. Trusted for farmland service needs since 1960.
All sponsors of this game broadcast. High school sports on Hometown Home Country Radio. Brought to you by these sports club members.
Countryside Barbecue Sauce. 2 sauces for all seasons.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance. Visit their studio or danceconnectionbymichelle.com.
Daylight Donuts. Open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
Dump It, Kasuth County's local and reliable waste service provider for commercial and residential customers.
Albert Electric. Flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Erpelding Excavating Enterprises. Let them take care of your grading, excavating, and drainage needs.
Fairway. Everything's easier, fresher, and faster with Algona Fairway.
All bringing you this game.
When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at MoneyPass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
It's time to meet the starting lineup for the Algona Bulldogs.
Limbaugh, another 3. Oh my goodness! It's good again! Kate Limbaugh's going Caitlin Clark mode, and it's a 4-point Bulldog lead!
Emma Spear Jr., number 32.
Spear taking it in. Spear got all the way to the rack and scored.
Maya Lentz Jr., number 24.
Outlet to Lentz. Lentz working into the paint. Goes right side. Drew the foul. Put it down.
Maya Lentz with a 40.
Elijah Dunning Jr., number 20.
Dunning high post. Dunning ducks under Travis. Dunning floats and scores.
Hayden McLaughlin Jr., number 22.
Feeds Hayden McLaughlin. Spins towards the right. Put it up and in. Hayden McLaughlin deep in the post. She spun right against Newton. Tip-off of your game is coming up next on Hometown and Home Country Radio. The Algona Bulldogs starting lineup as the Bulldogs come into today 12-4 overall, 8-1 in the North Central Conference, with the number 15 overall ranking in Class 3A for head coach Noah McLaughlin, who is 83-46 as the Bulldog girls basketball coach in his 6th season. For the 7-7 Humboldt Wildcats, it'll be the 5'6" senior Peyton Elmond, the 5'6" freshman Kaylee Vinsand, the 5'9" senior Kiera Anderson, 5'9" senior Ava Fisher, and 5'7" junior Jada Vanderwall. Humboldt in the blue uniforms, the yellow Humboldt outlined in white, yellow numerals front and back of the uniform also outlined in white. Bulldogs in the home whites with the black Algona on the front, black numerals front and back outlined in red, and the black stripe down the side of the uniform. Limbaugh wins the tap at midcourt as Bella Dunning has to go chase that one down into the left corner of the court, and we are underway here from Algona High School. Dunning an immediate free, and she buries it right off the bat. Coming off a good game against St. Edmund with 11 points. She made 3 of 6 threes in that game, and Dunning picks up right where she left off. 3-0 Algona right out of the opening tip. Humboldt moving left to right on the radio dial, and they'll throw it away right out of the gate. Hayden McLaughlin grabs the interception for the Bulldogs as Spear gets the ball into the front court. Now Algona operates against the Humboldt 2-3 zone defense. Algona number 2 in the North Central Conference. 54.3 points per game. Humboldt number 4 in defense, allowing 39.6. Limbaugh inside, adjusts towards the center of the lane, and she lays it in. 5-0 Algona, drawing the first couple of strikes here in the Battle of Highway 169. Humboldt dealing with a three-quarter court press of Algona. They'll get it across the Fisher, just to the right of the Bulldog silhouette as Humboldt gets it into the front court. Fisher works left around the arc, being chased around by Dunning. Now Spear switches off onto her as the ball gets unloaded to Vanderwall. Left of the lane is Vanderwall, comes out top to Anderson. Right back into the wing to Vinsand. The freshman takes one dribble and gives to Vanderwall. Humboldt's number 2 scorer behind Fisher. The head fake by Fisher. She'll give it back outside with 5 on the shot clock. Working right baseline, Anderson. Back to Fisher, has to create. Looking for space, and runs out of time. 35 seconds of beautiful defense by Algona as Fisher chaps her chest and says, my bad. The senior knows that she had to get the shot off there with the shot clock running down, but she was in an impossible position with a swarming Algona defense and time running out on the 35-second clock. Spear veers into the front court, passes away from the double team to Lentz. Pass near side of McLaughlin, tipped away and taken by Humboldt as Vanderwall comes out with interception. She'll find Fisher, who's number 2 in the conference in points per game, number 5 in Class 3A, forced to a wide angle as that floater left short off the iron. Rebound controlled by the Bulldogs. Spear weaves across the Bulldog silhouette and finds Hayden McLaughlin, who had a tough game, 1 out of 10 shooting against St. Ed's. In spite of that, the Bulldogs won as Spear's entry pass to Limbaugh is off her hands and out of bounds as the Bulldogs turn it over. And that's a credit to Algona. They beat St. Ed's on Tuesday in spite of that 3-point game by Hayden McLaughlin. Early in the season, prior to winter break, I'm not sure the Bulldogs could have withstood a game like that from their star player, but now more players are stepping up and scoring as there's a swap by Kate Limbaugh on the left block. Vanderwall came in and the 6'1" freshman said, I don't think so. She'll send that whistling out of bounds into the student section as Humboldt will keep possession. Looks like a jersey theme tonight for the Bulldogs student section. I actually spied Alex Mansky Iowa State jersey over there. That individual may be looking to buy a Nittany Lion jersey here in the near future. As Vinsand gets it out top to Vanderwall, now to Fisher. She'll pull from way downtown, and she buries the free. That's the range of Ava Fisher right there, the 4-year starter for the Humboldt Wildcats, who came into today with 1,141 career points. It's 5-3 Algona after that Fisher 3-ball. McLaughlin passes away from the double team near the corner of the court. It's Dunning. Dunning cross-court feed onto the wing to Lentz. Rotates it to Spear, top of the arc. Takes 2 dribbles to the left and unloads to McLaughlin. Now back to Spear, top of the arc. Heads towards the lane, deals up to Lentz. She'll catch, she'll rainbow the free, but left it short. Rebound trickles right down to McLaughlin on the offensive glass in the center of the lane. Finds Dunning in the corner, contested free, and she swished it! Bella Jo Dunning is feeling it, and it's 8-3 Algona. Dunning knocks away the pass, Vanderwall able to hug it for Humboldt and avoid the turnover. Then the Bulldogs bet the Vanderwall pass out of bounds into the Bulldog bench down to our right. Taylor Van Otterloo comes off the pine. Van Otterloo, number 2 in the North Central Conference with 4.3 assists per game, as she'll replace Maya Lentz in the Bulldog lineup. Humboldt rolling with the starting 5 is Elman. Unloads the ball with Fisher in between the circles. Spear for big defensive assignment on Fisher. Bounce pass into the corner to Anderson and right back to Fisher on the wing. There's a screen that frees up Fisher. Her free is short, though, as that screen was set by the Wildcats. Offensive board and cleanup, though, by Vinsand, who lays it in for 2. There's that Anderson screen to try to get Spear off of Fisher, and it's 8-5. As Algona leads Humboldt by 3 with 4:33 in the clock. Humboldt, by the way, number 3 in the NCC in offense, as they're averaging 52 points per game, just a shade lower than the Bulldogs. Algona only allowing 33.5 per, as Van Otterloo feeds Limbaugh inside, got great post position and powers that ball home. Limbaugh had 2 feet in that black painted area, and once she catches down there cleanly, you cannot stop that. It is 10-5 Algona. Pass goes to the running Elman, and Limbaugh swallows up another shot and knocks it out of bounds off the leg of Elman. Limbaugh protecting the paint on one end and scoring in the paint on the other. Bulldogs lead at 10-5, and they'll have the ball right back after that Limbaugh stuff. Humboldt shows their 2-2-1 press against Algona. Van Otterloo brings the ball up to Limbaugh, fires to Dunning, running the floor and scoring! A dime by Kate Limbaugh, and the finish by Bella Jo Dunning, who already has 8 points. Dunning at 9.8 points per game. She gives Algona a 12-5 lead. Elman gets the ball to Anderson on the perimeter, looks for Fisher top of the key. Vanderwall sets a screen. Now it's Van Otterloo and Fisher. She works her way in, she drives, and she draws the foul, as Van Otterloo's the guilty party that time. Humboldt is an interesting case study as they take the most free-point shots in the North Central Conference, about 25 of them per game, but they also take the most free throws in the conference, 15 per game, as Fisher missed off to the right on that first one. Fisher, an 81% foul shooter, as the freshman Braylee Engstrom, the 6-footer, comes in for Vanderwall. Oftentimes, those two things aren't collaborative. Usually, teams that are drawing a lot of fouls aren't shooting a ton of threes because you're driving into the lane a lot, but Humboldt, they drive and they kick and they look for threes, and they'll draw fouls as well, as there's a attempted offensive board off the missed free throw, a rare over-2 by Fisher, and Dunning and Fisher get tied up going for that one, with the possession arrow directing the ball towards Humboldt. By the way, I've been following the Algona Bulldog boys basketball team as they're at Forest City tonight. That game in the fourth quarter, of 6.5 minutes left. Bulldog boys trail Forest City 44-42 in a game that looks to come down to the wire. We'll keep you updated on how that plays out tonight. Van Tiger defending Fisher as she stumbles into the lane, slops the shot at the glass, no good. The ball went right to Vincent at the foul line. Her 15-footer doesn't go. Long rebound, though, picked up by Vincent, and she'll locate Fisher. Sidesteps into another long 3, but left it short. Long rebound out to Van Tiger, and the Bulldogs dodge multiple buckets and multiple free throws on that possession. 3:10 left in the first, 12-5 Algona. Van Tiger coming off a 10-point game against St. Ed's, deals over to McLaughlin. Now top of the key to Van Otterloo. Around the arc to Van Tigers, the Humboldt defense flows over there. Limbaugh, high-low look to Dunning, and she finds her for 2! Another assist. Second time tonight, Limbaugh has put the ball perfectly on Dunning, and it's already 10 points by Dunning and a 14-5 Bulldog lead. Humboldt breaks across half court. Elman across the foul line, bounces it towards Illig. Now works it out beyond the perimeter, picked up by Fisher. Van Tiger right into her body with Spear on the bench. In the lane, Fisher fights with the right-hander and is able to guide that one home with a deflection. 14-7 Algona. Fisher is an electric offensive threat, as you heard from Coach McLaughlin in the pregame, but you'd rather have her going for the 2s than the 3s, as she's a 35% three-point shooter on the year. McLaughlin from the lane, leaning in and banking on that mid-range shot. 16-7 Bulldogs. And they are converting at a very efficient rate so far. McLaughlin getting her first 2 of the night. Long pass down the floor, denied by Limbaugh as she'll bat it out of bounds into the near side stands. Dunning of her 10 points will take a seat on the bench. And Maya Lentz comes into the ball game. Lentz, last 2 games for the Bulldogs, 28 points on it, 9 of 13 shooting. She's knocked down 8 of her last 11 3-point shots. She has been en fuego lately, on fire for the Bulldogs. Vincent, right side wing for Humboldt. 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Vincent dribbling into the corner. Entry pass goes inside, and fighting up the shot and drawing the foul is Engstrom. Was working on Limbaugh that time. Freshman on the freshman there, as Engstrom was able to lean in and track her way to the free throw stripe. Humboldt's lost back-to-back games by single-digit margins against Webster City, and then a Tuesday game against Hampton-Dumont-Cal as Engstrom knocks it down to make it 16-8. That was a wild affair on Tuesday. A 49-44 Hampton-Dumont-Cal win over Humboldt. It was a low-scoring game at the end of 3 as Humboldt trailed 29-19. The teams then combined for 45 points in the fourth quarter as Humboldt outscored Hampton-Dumont-Cal 25-20, but it was not enough as the Wildcats lost by 5. Engstrom makes both free throws. Here's a right side free by Lentz. Bounces off the rack, no good. Rebound picked up by Vincent, who brings it out of the pack. Feeds it over to the left to the senior Fisher, the lone returning starter from last year. Fisher, long 2-foot on the line, and she finds the bottom of the net. Fisher tickles the twine again, and it's 16-11. Bulldogs by 5 right now. Van Tiger runs past the leaping Fisher, heads down the lane. Limbaugh runs interference, but Van Tiger shovels that off the side of the rack. Fight for the rebound in the corner, and Vincent able to wrestle that one away. Limbaugh coming in the rear. Miocic stole it right away, knocking that ball to Van Otterloo as Vincent didn't feel Limbaugh coming. Left of the lane, Van Otterloo deals out to McLaughlin, skates towards the lane, shovels it up the right hand and puts it in. McLaughlin is lethal moving towards her right, and it's 18-11 Bulldogs. McLaughlin also top 5 in the North Central Conference in points per game. Came into tonight averaging 15.3. Here's the feed inside, and another foul by the Bulldogs, as once again it was Engstrom drawing that whistle. This time foul picked up by Hayden McLaughlin as Engstrom just drew another foul, and she'll shoot 2 more. You look at this series between Algona and Humboldt, it has been largely in favor of Algona. Bulldogs 31-9 against the Wildcats dating back to 2006. Algona's won the last 2 matchups and 6 of the last 7. Van Tiger and Van Otterloo go to the bench. Dunning and Spear come back in. Van de Waal returns to the Humboldt lineup, as Fisher will take a brief respite with 51 seconds left in the first. Wildcats have also brought the 5'8" senior Abby Armitage into the game. And Eldon's also returned as the free throw deflects off to the right. Limbaugh vacuums in the rebound for Algona. Limbaugh 9.4 rebounds per game, just shy of a double-double on the season. Bulldogs rotated around, Spear and McLaughlin back and forth. McLaughlin squeezes the trigger on a 3, no. Rebound by Lentz, and the reverse for the score. Maya Lentz rebounded on the far side of the court that time and reversed for a beautiful 2. 9-point Bulldog lead. Into the front court comes Illig, the Humboldt freshman driving in. Limbaugh for third swat of the game. Clears the ball at the Spear. Dancing in the front court with 18 seconds left, and the shot clock now off. Bulldogs up 20-11 and clicking on offense so far in this game. Spear to McLaughlin, right wing side, back to Spear. Back to McLaughlin on the wing, rise for 3, rattles it into the drain! What a first quarter by the Bulldogs, 23-11, 1 second left for Humboldt, and no chance to get a shot off from the backcourt as the first quarter has come to a close. The Bulldogs are on fire on this cold Thursday night, coming out firing and leading 23-11 on Home Country Radio KLGZ and the AHS Broadcasting YouTube live stream.
High school sports on Hometown Home Country Radio. Brought to you by these sports club members.
Countryside Barbecue Sauce, 2 sauces for all seasons.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance. Visit their studio or danceconnectionbymichelle.com.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
Dump It, Kossuth County's local and reliable waste service provider for commercial and residential customers.
Albert Electric, flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Erpelding Excavating Enterprises. Let them take care of your grading, excavating, and drainage needs.
Fairway, everything's easier, fresher, and faster with Algona Fairway.
All bringing you this game.
Some of the most significant power outages in recent years have been caused by extreme cold weather and severe storms. Whether it's snow, ice, or extreme wind, don't be caught in the dark. At Murphy Farm Services, our top-of-the-line Generac or Cummins generators will automatically power your home in the event of a power loss. Already have a standby generator? Call us today to get on our preventative maintenance list to ensure your machine is running at its maximum efficiency. Contact your local certified ag, electrical, and generator sales and service dealer. Murphy Farm Services, delivering the power you need when you need it.
I'm trying to remember exactly how that old sports cliche goes. You can't stop the Bulldog three-point shooters. You can only hope to contain them. That's what it seems like so far in this one. 23-11 in favor of Algona. Tuesday night, they shot 12 of 24 on threes against St. Edmund, and they picked right up where they left off as Hayden McLaughlin hit the late 3 to give Algona the 23-11 lead. Bulldogs opened up the ball in the second quarter, moving right to left. Dunning had it poked away, able to shovel it to Spear. Her 3 is right on the money! Oh, what an offensive start by the Bulldogs. And they set up in their full court press against Humboldt. They'll try to trap Van de Waal. She's in trouble. Nobody there to help out, and a foul by the Bulldogs. That will get Van de Waal out of the straitjacket as Bell and Joe Dunning got a little overzealous on that one and reached in, contacting Van de Waal on the arm. That was a turnover waiting to happen there as no one from Humboldt really came to help out Van de Waal in a tough spot on the court. Van de Waal, ill-advised pass, knocked away by Lentz, finds Dunning, sidesteps and hits it off the side of the rim. Spear on the cleanup effort, and it's 28-11 Bulldogs. 5 straight points by Emma Spear, who came into today averaging 2.1 points. Fisher weaves in between white jerseys across the timeline, threads it underneath. What a play by Fisher as she finds Engstrom for 2, and it's 28-13. Beautiful assist that time by Humboldt's lead scorer. Fisher on the season leads Humboldt in points, rebounds, steals, and blocks, and she's tied for first in assists per game. So she does a little bit of everything for this Wildcat team. Bulldogs probe it around the perimeter, find Dunning on the block, trying to power that shot up, and she's able to guide that one home. Well, when Limbaugh's not in there, Dunning can certainly get her share of points in the paint. She has 12 total points so far tonight, and it's 30-13 Algona. And Van Otterloo peels the basketball away, taking it from Engstrom. Finds Dunning, cross-court feed to McLaughlin, squares for a free. Too strong, and it deflected off the extension above the backboard, and it almost bounced in anyways, but it doesn't matter because once it hits either the shot clock or any of those extensions above the basket, it is automatically out of bounds. Still, that was nearly a shooter's touch moment right there as Humboldt tries to navigate the Bulldog full court press. They'll fire it up ahead to Vanderwall, but Limbaugh got in front and intercepted the ball. And I believe her foot was on the sideline there, and it was. That's one of those plays where if this was an NFL game, it would zoom down to a microscopic level to see if her foot was inbounds or out of bounds. And it would have just seen that basketball shoe barely touching that white paint at the sideline. Humboldt has the ball. Bucket is towards the right. By the way, Bulldog boys in action tonight. They have taken the lead against Forest City, 51-50, with 2:23 left in the fourth. We'll update you on how that one ends tonight. Anderson gives it off to Fisher, working right around the arc for Humboldt. High dribble, fades away for a three, and she airballed it out of bounds, and Wildcats can't save it in as Vincent had the attempt. Fisher came off a tough game against Hampton Dumal when she shot 3 of 17 on three-point balls. And that's the plan for the Bulldogs tonight, too. You've got to turn Fisher into a volume three-point shooter instead of an efficient one. She takes 11 threes per game, which is the second most in Class 3A. Only player taking more is Nora Lampe of Central Lee, who's taking an unbelievable 13 threes per game. So she'll take them, but you just got to make sure the ones that she takes are hard, as the Bulldogs have done so far tonight. Van Otterloo, top of the key, flips it near side wing to Lentz. 5:42 left in the first half. Van Tiger tried to find the rolling Limbaugh, but she got stopped on a time by Fisher, who put up a roadblock. Pass picked off by Humboldt and Anderson. Fisher at the controls, working towards the right, finds Anderson top of the arc. Gives off to Elman with the right-hand dribble, tried to thread it to the cutting Fisher, but she was blanketed by Van Tiger, and that pass skips out of bounds. Wildcats usually take pretty good care of the ball. Only 11 turnovers per game for Humboldt on the season, but tonight Algona is getting them sped up a little bit and throwing some passes into very tight windows. Algona looking at that 1-2-2 press of Humboldt. Van Otterloo keeps it in the middle of the court and flips it over to Lentz across the timeline. And here come the Bulldogs in that half-court offense. Van Otterloo to Lentz on the wing. Out top to Van Otterloo, now right wing to Van Tiger. High post to Limbaugh. Looks near side to Lentz. Rise for three, and she arcs it in! 33-13 Bulldogs, and the three-point onslaught continues. And Lentz stays hot. We mentioned 8 of her last 11 threes coming into tonight. Vanderwall in the front court. Shot got tipped by Limbaugh off the glass, and rebound picked up by Van Tiger for Algona. Fisher's scored 37.5% of Humboldt's points this season. She has 7 tonight for the Wildcats out of their 13. As Limbaugh catches the entry pass and immediately is swarmed by blue jerseys. As a foul picked up on the play by the Wildcats. And Ava Fisher of her first personal. Van Otterloo and Lentz checking out. McKenna Elsbecker and Emma Spear into the game for Algona. Some more stats on Fisher. Humboldt coming into tonight had made 93 three-pointers. 56 of those are by Fisher. That's over 60% for those of you trying to do the math at home. As Hayden McLaughlin shoots through defender and draws the foul. The Bulldog junior will shoot a pair. Fisher's taken almost a third of Humboldt's total shot attempts this season. So if you listen to Coach McLaughlin in the pregame, he said there are 2 words about what we're focusing on tonight. And those 2 words are Ava Fisher. Free throw good by McLaughlin, and it's 34-13. I'd add in the efficient offense for the Bulldogs. They seem to be pretty focused on that end as well, as McLaughlin drops in the free throw. 35-13 Algona. McLaughlin of 9 points so far today. Second on the team to Dunning, who has 10. Vincent dribbling up top, getting it onto the wing to Fisher. Gets a screen by Anderson, but Van Tiger sticks right with her. Returns the ball left side to Anderson. Chased around by Limbaugh. Back to Fisher. Van Tiger chasing her around, and Limbaugh blocked a three-point shot. Great help D by the Bulldog freshman, as Van Tiger forced her wide, and then Limbaugh right there on the help. Spear in a little trouble, throws it down the floor, and Humboldt picks it off. Bulldogs had dropped back, but didn't help out their ball handler in duress. And Humboldt able to get the ball right back. Fisher left side baseline. Looks and pivots. Flings it out top where the ball is caught by Anderson. Rotates it right wing to Vanderwall, who has not scored yet so far tonight. Vincent to Elmond. Chased around by Limbaugh here, the Bulldog man-to-man. Now that Fisher slicing in, and a poke away by Van Tiger. Spear was in front of her, and then Van Tiger was just able to reach into the cookie jar there and knock that ball out. Up to Elsbecker, into McLaughlin in the paint. Missed from point-blank range. Limbaugh cleanup, and her putback sits on the rim and drops through. 37-13 Bulldogs. Limbaugh, the number 6 point-per-game scorer in the NCC at 14.5, has 6 so far tonight. And Algona is running away with this one, 37-13. Wildcats, by the way, they've lost 7 games. 6 of those were by single digits. As there's a foul on the other end by Algona. Hayden McLaughlin picking that one up. Humboldt this year, 2-6 in games decided by 10 or less points. And that can happen sometimes when you have a team that doesn't have a ton of varsity experience. Their most lopsided loss this year was a 61-48 defeat at the hands of Clear Lake, a 13-point loss by Humboldt. Vincent to set things in motion from the near side baseline. Elsbecker guards the inbounds play. Pass was intended for Vanderwall, fortuitously rolled out side to Illig for Humboldt. She'll drive in, bank it off the window, and scores. Illig got out of a straitjacket that time and got to the rack for 2. 37-15 Algona. 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Spear dancing across the timeline and hands off to Elsbecker. Gets it left to Lentz in front of the Wildcat bench down to our left. Now to Spear, top of the arc. Dribbles towards the right and gets the ball to Van Otterloo. One dribble and a lob between the circles to Spear. Bounce pass right corner to Elsbecker. 2:42 left in the first half. Bulldogs probe the perimeter against the Humboldt zone. Nothing open for Lentz. Got to get a paint touch in there at some point. Van Otterloo looking top of the arc to Spear. 5 seconds. Out to the corner to Elsbecker. Rise for 3. Can't quite bank that one home. Rebound knocked around. It rolls off the leg of Lentz and out of bounds as Humboldt will get it back. Give the Wildcats credit. That was about 32 seconds of really good defense. Bulldogs couldn't find anything on that possession, and they never got the ball inside of the lane. Humboldt usually plays that 2-free zone. They were very active there in that 2-free zone. The 5'9" freshman Charlie Smith in for the Wildcats. 2:22 left in the first half as Vanderwall sits on the bench. Vincent overhead pass to Smith. Works right of Dunning. Drives in. Got all the way to the rack and scored it. How about that for readiness coming right off the bench? And it's 37-17. Bulldogs by 20 right now. Trying to extend their win streak to 6 as they're working on their longest win streak of the season already at 5. Dunning put it off the leg of Vincent, got it back, and shovels it outside to Lentz. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Left wing to Spear, top of the arc to Van Otterloo, around to Lentz. Humboldt trying to hound Limbaugh inside. Here's a right wing free by Lentz, and it's a little bit too strong. Off at the board by Spear, and she'll bring it back outside. Bulldogs this season have offensive rebounded about 38.5% of the missed shots. They're good on the glass with Limbaugh backing her way inside, and a foul on the floor as Engstrom tried to drop the anchor that time, but Limbaugh just overpowered her, and that'll be Humboldt's 3rd foul of the quarter. Well, we'll get you a final score here on the Bulldog versus Forest City boys basketball game, as that one is just about to wrap up here. Van Otterloo inbound, she'll find Spear, it's another 3. Too strong off glass. Rebound deflects down to Fisher with 1:30 left in the first half. 37-17 Algona. Fisher, who attempts the most shots per game at 20 in Class 3A, unloads the ball. She was looking for Vincent, but tipped by Van Otterloo and taken by Limbaugh. Returns the ball to Van Otterloo, dealing underneath to Dunning. Dunning avoids a defender and kicks out to Lentz. Rotates it to Spear, who finds Van Otterloo left side wing. Cross-court feed over to Lentz. Into Dunning. Tries to go up and under. She'll shoot over the defender Engstrom, and a foul on the play as Limbaugh tried to get that ball back, but she was called for the foul on the rebound. The game is in the books, by the way, in Forest City. The Bulldog boys are back in the win column, and they knock off Forest City tonight by a final count of 57-52. Really good win there on the road for Coach Cecil and crew, as the Bulldog boys pick up win number 9 of the season. And they'll, of course, be back in action tomorrow night, along with the Bulldog girls against Webster City. Vincent on the right side wing. The Humboldt freshman has Van Otterloo in front of her. Entry pass to Fisher, swarmed by the Bulldogs as Dunning and Spear all over Fisher. Spear deflects it out of bounds with 22 on the shot clock. Humboldt will maintain possession with Vincent, the 5.5 point per game score, to throw it in. Gets it into Engstrom, tries to get that shot up. No good, and the Bulldogs come out with the ball with Spear. Outlet to Van Tiger behind the defense, pushed by Smith. She put it in and she drew the foul. How about that
shot for Gabby Van Tiger. She'll get high fives all around, and it's 39-17 in favor of Algona. That was a foul on the play by Smith. That was clearly a foul that was designed to not let Van Tiger even get a shot off there, because that was a big shove, but it came too late, and Van Tiger finishes the three-point play. How about that strong finish from the Bulldog Jr.? 29 seconds left in the first half, 25 on the shot clock for Humboldt. Vincent working round to left and flipping it over to Fisher. Quick trigger on the free, air ball. Van Otterloo deflects the rebound, saved it in under the basket to Smith of Humboldt. Missed the layup. Third opportunity, no. Vincent offensive board for the Wildcats. Will have a fourth chance, but the kick out to Fisher is intercepted by Maya Lentz. 10 seconds left in the half. Van Otterloo outlets to Van Tiger. She found her, fouled again, and almost put that in. Engstrom tried to chase her down and block the shot and ran right into her body. Nearly another three-point play by Van Tiger. What an outlet pass, though, by Taylor Van Otterloo. She was all around defenders, so she couldn't really wind up and fire that ball down the floor. Just had to muscle it down there and somehow got just enough on that to get that ball to Van Tiger, the 57% free throw shooter who drains the first one and makes it 41-17. Another free throw and another make by Van Tiger. She has 5 points. 4 seconds left for Humboldt. Vincent looking inside. Pass picked off by Dunning, as that pass was intended for the lane and for Engstrom as the first half comes to an end. 42-17. The Bulldog offense rolling so far tonight as they have taken it to Humboldt in this battle of Highway 169. We'll take a timeout and look at a few halftime numbers after these messages on Home Country Radio KLGZ and the Algona Radio AHS Broadcasting YouTube stream.
More sports club members bringing you this game.
North Iowa Appliance Center, Highway 18 East in Algona, where they sell the best and service the rest.
Oak Crest Funeral Service, celebrating a life lived.
Phil's Auto and Truck Repair, service is the difference.
Billy Offerman, your State Farm agent in Algona. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Schindler Lawn Care and Landscaping, 515-320-3840 or schindlerlawncare@gmail.com.
Signworks Inc. for all your signage needs and printed apparel. Stop in or call 295-9544.
All sponsoring this broadcast on Hometown and Home Country Radio. When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at MoneyPass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
Thank you to these sports club members making this broadcast possible.
Ruhnke Brothers. Experience the Ruhnke Brothers difference for all your auto service and repair needs.
Strowman Dental, giving you something to smile about.
TAFE Wellness Center in Algona and Armstrong, keeping athletes in the game with chiropractic care. Take charge of your health.
Tangle Salon for all your cuts, colors, hair extensions, and massage therapy needs.
Tom Eischen Sales, your store in the country, carrying Steel and Toro products and Green Mountain pellet grills.
Ulrich Construction, let them do the work.
Water Connection, from softeners to bottled water and service, call 295-SOFT.
All bringing you this broadcast.
For over 40 years, Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons have maintained one mission: to provide excellence in orthopedic care. Their team of 9 physicians offers specialized care in everything from arthroscopic same-day surgery to joint replacement, as well as hand and foot surgery, and have an orthopedic surgeon on call 24/7. Healthcare isn't about appointments, it's about taking care of people, and that's their specialty. Visit Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons on the web at nwiabone.com.
Halftime from Algona High School in the Battle of Highway 169. This girls basketball matchup right now has Algona out in front, 42-17 over the Humboldt Wildcats. Well, before we look at our first half stats here on Home Country Radio KLGZ, a big congratulations is due to Greg Stewart. Of course, you folks have listened to a lot of basketball games on KLGA and KLGZ. Have heard Greg's voice all throughout the years. We love having him around to do some commentary. And if you're at the Algona basketball games this past Friday night against Iowa Falls Alden, Greg was awarded Administrator of the Year by the Iowa High School Athletic Directors Association. Of course, we don't have Greg on the broadcast here tonight because he's down at the scoring table running the shot clock today for the Bulldogs, but we always love having Greg around
around, and a big congratulations is due to him for that award. Of course, he would not be happy about me bringing that up on the broadcast tonight. He's a very modest guy. He doesn't want any of that credit, but I think Greg is very well deserving of that award, so it was great to see him get that honor halftime on Friday of that game against Iowa Falls Alden, and get recognized for all the hard work that he puts in as the NCC commissioner, a longtime athletic director at multiple schools, and of course, this maybe wasn't about the award, but he puts a lot of hard work for our broadcast as well, so a big congratulations there to Greg. With that, let's get to our first half numbers. As Algona jumped out early in this one, they outscored Humboldt 23-11 in the first quarter. The offense really did not slow down at all in the second. A 19-6 Bulldogs scoring advantage to bring this margin up to 42-17. Individually for Humboldt, Ava Fisher has 7 points, Braylee Angstrom with 4, and then 2 apiece by Kaylee Vinsand, Olivia Illig, Charlie Smith, all of them with 2 points for Humboldt. Meanwhile, for Algona, once again, another balanced night playing out, much like it was against St. Edmund when the Bulldogs had 3 scores in double figures, actually 4 scores in double figures in that game. They are possibly on the way to that tonight. Bella Jo Dunning for the early 3-point shots has 12, Hayden McLaughlin of 9, Caitlin Baugh of 6, Maya Lentz of 5, and Gabby Van Tiger and Emma Spear also of 5 for Algona in this matchup. Well, a lot of good things to like so far for the Bulldogs. I think number one aspect of this game and number one key coming into it was try to limit Ava Fisher. She's been Humboldt's leading scorer in 10 out of their 14 games this season, and she's been the number 5 scorer in Class 3A on the season. A lot of that due to her long-range shooting. Gabby Van Tiger and Emma Spear have done a great job of defense with primarily those two playing her in man-to-man, but some good help team by the Bulldogs as well. We saw Limbaugh block a 3-point ball. We saw Dunning for a little help defense on Fisher too, so it's really a team effort. Humboldt is going to throw a lot of screens at you, try to free up Fisher, so you've got to either fight for those screens or the help defense has to be right there to pick up Fisher. The Bulldogs have done that tonight. Fisher does have her 7 points, but they have been a hard-fought 7 points. Nothing easy for the Humboldt seniors, so that is task number 1. Well done by Algona. Meanwhile, offensively for Algona, boy, there's just some nights where the ball's going in, and tonight is one of those nights for the Bulldogs. They have been extremely, extremely efficient so far. They're hitting on their 3-point shots, and those can come and go in streaks, but tonight, that streak has continued. It was a great 3-point shooting game Tuesday against St. Ed's. Same story here tonight. Multiple Bulldogs getting in on the action with that one. And I also like as well, Coach McLaughlin's really done a little bit of putting Kate Limbaugh on the high post tonight, and I've seen that Kate Limbaugh drawing that attention to the high post has really opened things up underneath for Bella Jo Dunning. So normally you'd kind of go the opposite way of that with Limbaugh on the high post and then maybe Limbaugh on the low post and Dunning in the high post. But tonight they've flipped that around a few times, and that's worked really well as Limbaugh has passed the ball well to Dunning with those high-low looks and generated some easy buckets out of that as well. So Bulldogs have been a little creative offensively. They've moved things around, and then some of the normal stuff too, the Hayden McLaughlin short-range shots in the paint, those have been going in. We've seen a couple of offensive rebounds and second chance opportunities by Kate Limbaugh tonight. That's been normal too. This is just one of those games where things are clicking for Algona as they lead Humboldt 42-17. Second half basketball action is coming up here in just a few minutes. We'll take this time out and come back with the second half after this on KLGZ, Home Country Radio, and the HS Broadcasting YouTube stream.
High school sports on Hometown Home Country Radio, brought to you by these sports club members.
American Glass. For all your glass needs, think American.
Central Financial Group, where you belong.
Down to Earth Tree Service, your local Algona tree service.
Ed Service Station, service you can trust.
Farm Bureau Financial Agents Dave Beisch and Daniel Foth.
Glenn's Green Thumb, from a small seed, something beautiful will grow.
Iowa Lakes Community College, your community, your college.
Snap-on Tools, the most valued tool storage solutions in the world.
All sponsors of this game.
Where you bank matters. Hi, I'm Sherry Binkin at Security State Bank, and we're relationship bankers. We get to know our customers and understand their financial needs. We're locally owned and operated, which means family, community, and service always comes first. So come to Security State Bank. We'll treat you like family. Security State Bank in Algona, Burt, and Laverne. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Security State Bank.
We've got more sports club members bringing you this broadcast.
Camco Tires, they're all you need to know about tires and service.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
Reeb's Wicked Good Bar and Grill. For wicked good food, drinks, and service, you gotta go to Reeb's.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Sway City, and the surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy services.
Algona Pizza Ranch, there's so much to love.
West Bend Ford, meeting your service, new and used vehicle needs.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
All sponsors of this game broadcast.
Some of the most significant power outages in recent years have been caused by extreme cold weather and severe storms. Whether it's snow, ice, or extreme wind, don't be caught in the dark. At Murphy Farm Services, our top-of-the-line Generac or Cummins generators will automatically power your home in the event of a power loss. Already have a standby generator? Call us today to get on our preventative maintenance list to ensure your machine is running at its maximum efficiency. Contact your local certified ag, electrical, and generator sales and service dealer. Murphy Farm Services, delivering the power you need when you need it.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
AK's Chrome Kitchen. When you come in, your family.
Algona Frame and Auto Body, we meet by accident.
Algona Livestock, sales every Monday.
Weikert Realtors, the 515 Agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Algona Plumbing and Heating, where a good flush beats a full house.
Cotton Grave Farm Management and Land Realty, trusted for farmland service needs since 1960.
All sponsors of this game broadcast.
It's the 12-4 Algona Bulldogs and the 7-7 Humboldt Wildcats here tonight. As we get ready for the second half, it is all Algona, 42-17 your score, as Beljo Dunning leads the way with 12 points. Hayden McLaughlin's shipped in 9 as well for Algona, and another balanced scoring effort unfolding here for the Bulldogs. You go back to Tuesday against St. Ed's, you got a lot of contributions all around. Kate Limbaugh had 17 points and 14 boards. Maya Lentz scored 13. Bella Jo Dunning had 11 points and 6 assists. And Gabby Van Tiger had 10 points on 4 of 5 shooting from the field and 2 of 3 on free-point balls. And it's been that same story here tonight. The Bulldogs are getting a lot more balance in this game. I'll make the same point that I mentioned earlier on. You know, you have some games where different people lead the team in scoring. Early on in the year, it felt like there was a lot of reliance on Hayden McLaughlin offensively to do a lot, and she certainly can do a lot. She can be that go-to player offensively, but it really just takes a lot of the weight off your shoulders when you're scoring a spread around like this, and you can withstand a night like you had on Tuesday when McLaughlin only scored 3 points. And then when you have a night like tonight where she is back in her normal shooting range and normal shooting groove, you have a big outing like this where you're up 42-17. Humboldt has the ball to start the third quarter, moving right to left on the radio dial. Vincent comes outside to Vanderwall, shoots over traffic, and can't quite bounce that one in. Lentz trampolines in for the rebound for Algona. Gets it up to McLaughlin. A 2-time second-team all-conference selection, flips it outside to Spear. Bounce pass inside to Limbaugh. A nice find by Spear. The turn by Limbaugh and the score. That play was made possible with a beautiful bounce pass by Emma Spear. And Limbaugh has 8 points now for the Bulldogs. Here's a mid-range shot by Vanderwall. Bounces off the back of the cylinder. Rebound picked up by Spear for Algona with 45 seconds gone in the second quarter and a 44-17 Bulldog lead. Lentz left alone for a 3. That's too strong. Bouncing off the iron. Rebound was fought for by Limbaugh, but off her hands and out of bounds. You look at the Wildcats. They went 12-11 last season. That was their 5th consecutive winning season, but also maybe a little bit disappointing for a team that started the season in the state rankings. But they've had a pretty good run here, and they're trying to get above 500 tonight, but down 44-17 as a free by Fisher is long. Rebound is tracked down, though, by Elman in the corner, who hands the ball to Vincent. Vincent steers across the lane, finds Vanderwall underneath, tries to shoot around Limbaugh, but missed just about everything there as Dunning tracks down the rebound for Algona. Like I said, though, it's a credit to Humboldt that they graduated all they did last year, and they're still fighting to get above 500 this season. As Limbaugh pivots between a couple of defenders and draws a foul down to our right. She'll shoot a pair of free throws. Limbaugh, the best free throw shooter in the North Central Conference at 83.3%. And knocks down the first one to make it 45-17. Not to mention, she's 8 of 11 on 3-point shots this season after hitting 2 against St. Ed's on Tuesday night. Another free throw by the freshman and another make as it's 46-17, and Limbaugh has joined Dunning in double digits for the Bulldogs of 10 points. 6:34 left in the third quarter. Fisher being pursued and funneled towards the sideline. She'll throw it in the corner to Vincent, who tiptoes and almost stepped out there down in that left side corner. Now it's Fisher with the left-hand dribble, switching over to the right. Hooks her way across the foul line, steps back for a long 2, and she buries it. You'll live with that if you're the Bulldogs, but that's a great shot by Fisher. 9 points for her at a 46-19 Algona lead. Spear works to the Bulldog silhouette at midcourt. Guarded by Elman. Humboldt has switched things up to a man-to-man defense as the flip caught by Limbaugh. Trying to rake at the ball there is Fisher, but a foul picked up on the play. Much to the dismay of the Humboldt fans and the Humboldt crowd who wanted to tie up. Fisher getting her third personal foul.
Second team foul by Humboldt of the quarter, with Van Otterloo coming in and Spear coming out for Algona. Foul was on the floor. Bulldogs line up 4 across the baseline. They'll flip it in to McLaughlin on the right wing. Works left across the foul line. Good help deep by Vincent. Knocks it away. McLaughlin trying to wrestle it back, and she does, rolling the ball to Lentz. Lentz drives in hard left side, scoops the ball up, rolls up the cup. Limbaugh wipes the glass of the Bulldogs, though, and puts it in for 2. 48-19 Algona, and the offensive rebounding effort by Limbaugh continues, as she right now ranks number 3 in the North Central Conference in rebounding. Here's Anderson working around to the left, finds Vincent left corner. Out to Fisher on the wing, this time guarded by Van Otterloo. Fisher trying to shake loose, a nice crossover dribble, then reverses courses to the right, and a foul on the play. That was on Van Otterloo trying to fight through that screen there as Vincent was running interference to try to free up Fisher. Lentz goes to the bench and Van Tiger comes in for Algona. 5:25 left in the third quarter and a 48-19 Bulldog lead. Vincent has the right-hand dribble and gets it onto the wing to Vanderwall. Jumps and passes to Fisher. Boy, Van Tiger had seen that ball coming. She could have easily picked it, but instead Fisher drives in. Missed on the wild layup, though, and McLaughlin reels in the rebound for Algona. Van Otterloo steers into the front court and bounces to Van Tiger, right wing side. Into Limbaugh off the one-on-one, tries to reverse, and that shot got tipped by Vanderwall. Bulldogs get out to Van Otterloo, though. Her 3 is short. Dunning off at the board for Algona. Finds herself in the far corner and whips it across to McLaughlin. A couple steps right of center. Back to left to Dunning. Right-hand dribble and handoff to Van Tiger. Drives in left of the lane, went strong to the cup and draws the foul. Another good drive to the bucket by Gabby Van Tiger, who's taken a lot more initiative offensively for the Bulldogs, and she'll shoot a pair of free throws. 5 points to net by Van Tiger, coming off that career high of 10 in the last game against St. Edmund. Van Tiger, a 57% foul shooter, as that one rattles and goes through. 49-19 Bulldogs. Well, each night for the rest of the season important for Algona. Right now, Algona is 8-1 in the North Central Conference. They are tied in the loss column with Clear Lake. Lions 9-1 in the NCC as they played one more game than Algona. Limbaugh off at the board with missed free throw and returns it outside to Dunning. So you can't afford to slip up. Obviously, you hope that Clear Lake slips up at some point, but if the Bulldogs win out, they'll at very minimum be guaranteed a share of the NCC title for the 3rd season in a row. And then if Clear Lake slips up and you win out, you win it outright. Of course, Clear Lake was hoping that someone like Humboldt could pick off Algona, but that does not appear to be the case tonight, as the Bulldogs lead by 30. Limbaugh delivers on the wing to McLaughlin with 8 on the shot clock, and a steal by Vincent, who swiped it away. Here comes the transition, Vincent to the bucket, and a great play by Van Otterloo to knock that ball out of bounds. Taylor Van Otterloo swatted it away, found fouling. Was able to almost hit her bicep off the ball right there to deflect it away. McLaughlin, Limbaugh, and Dunning go to the Algona bench. In are Elsbecker, Lentz, and Spear, as the Bulldogs go for a smaller lineup right now. Bounce pass in, caught by Fisher. Works on the right side of the three-point line. Backs it up a few feet behind the arc. Does a dance of Spear. Goes around the Elman screen. Left of the lane. Turns around, pivots, rises up for a jumper, but she can't shake loose as the ball deflects off the cylinder. Rebound controlled by Lentz for Algona. Now Van Otterloo out to Van Tiger. Back up ahead to Lentz. Pass to the free to get to Elsbecker. And returns it to Lentz. 3:50 left in the third quarter. Bulldogs being patient. Lentz may have had an open three-point look there. She gets it back. This one she's not passing up, and it rims out no good. Rebound ripped down by Fisher for Humboldt. Still Bulldogs by 30 right now. Scoring has slowed down a little bit, but Lentz knocks a pass away from Elman. Humboldt will keep it. The Bulldog defense, though, as stifling as ever. Algona, a top 5 point per game defense in Class 3A. They're tied for 5th, only allowing 33.4 points per game this season. Vincent at the controls. Engstrom is checked back in for Humboldt, as she has replaced Elman on the floor. Flips it over left side to Vincent. Nothing open initially. She'll dribble around to the right, around the screen of Armitage. Now off to Fisher. 13 on the shot clock. Fisher into the paint. In between free right jerseys, Lentz blocked the shot, but she also got a little bit of arm of Ava Fisher, who will shoot a pair of free throws. Like we mentioned, Fisher's been the Humboldt leading scorer in 10 of the 14 games so far. She's their leading scorer tonight with 9 points. Humboldt has lost 3 of the 4 games in which Fisher was not the leading scorer. And a miss on the free throw. Bulldog student section being a little mobile here. We've got a couple of the student section members who have ventured down to the other side of the court to try to distract Fisher from the free throw shooting. And the official is saying, not so fast, guys. Go back to your seat. It was a good fought, though. It was intuitive. I'll give that to them. As Fisher will have one more on the way. And that one rattles out no good, too. Boy, Fisher, a rare off night at the free throw stripe, as she has missed 4 foul shots in this one. Still Bulldogs by 30. 2:56 left in the third quarter. Algona probes the ball around to Spear. Pumps inside and rotates right to Van Otterloo. High rainbow pass caught by Spear. Fires it near side to Lentz. Now around the arc to Van Otterloo. Stops to the elbow, bounce pass to the cutting Elsbecker, and she draws the foul. Taylor Van Otterloo just crafted a nice pass there to Elsbecker, who went to the basket in slow motion there and drew the whistle, with foul number 3 being picked up by Engstrom. Elsbecker, the Bulldog sophomore, a perfect 4-4 at the foul stripe this season, wearing those baby blue shoes as she missed that free throw. McLaughlin and Limbaugh come into the game as Van Tigert and Van Otterloo go to the pine. Elsbecker also still sporting that large brace on the right knee and up and down the quad and shin of that leg after that injury sustained in the season-opening JV game against Forest City. 50-19 Bulldogs as Elsbecker knocks down 1 of 2 free throws. 2:35 left in the third quarter. Fisher working around a screen. Gives off to Vincent. Vincent guiding her way towards the bucket. Nobody could stop the ball for the Bulldogs, and Vincent gets all the way in for 2. Her second made field goal of the night, and it's 50-21 Algona. Lentz on the right side wing, whips it over to McLaughlin. And now on to Spear with 2:10 left in the third quarter. Back to the right side to Lentz. Gets it over to Spear again, now to Elsbecker, into McLaughlin. Plays it across the lane to Limbaugh, and Limbaugh got mugged that time by Fisher. Foul on the floor as Fisher swipes down after that basketball. Limbaugh and McLaughlin ended up in the exact same spot there for a very brief moment, but Limbaugh did a good job of redirecting herself to the opposite side of the lane and then collecting that pass from Hayden McLaughlin. That was foul number 4 on Fisher and foul number 5 against Humboldt as a team for this quarter, as Limbaugh will shoot a pair of free throws after that. Limbaugh had a very recent career high, 22 points against Pocahontas area. Followed that up with an 18-point game against Iowa Falls Alden, a 17-point game against St. Edmund. After that made free throw, she has a 13-point game working so far tonight. 51-21 Algona. Rims out on that free throw and parachuting in for the rebound. Engstrom for Humboldt, as Limbaugh will stay at 13. 30-point Bulldog lead. Vincent gets it out left corner. Working in his Illig. Gets it back outside to Smith. 1:47 left in the quarter. Hands off to Vincent. Now it's to Armitage. Down the lane, got the ball poked away by McLaughlin, and it went right to the hands of Limbaugh as the Bulldog defense continues to fluster this Wildcat offense. Lentz right wing side works it around to Spear. Spear back to Lentz. Lentz holding and looking and firing over to Spear. Onto the wing to McLaughlin. Dropped it and picked it up and got it over to Spear. Into the high post to Dunning, out to Lentz. Arcs up the 3, and she finds the bottom of the net. Maya Lentz just continues to produce. She has 8 points for the Bulldogs, really coming alive here during this 5-game win streak, and it's 54-21 Algona, 1:07 left in the third quarter. Here's a 3 to answer by Illeg, air ball into the pocket of Limbaugh on the rebound from that right side block. Final 60 seconds of the third quarter. The balanced offense of the Bulldogs tonight. They are well on their way to their 8th 60-plus point game of the season, something they did 8 total times last year. Scrap for the loose basketball down to our right as Limbaugh and Vincent got locked up there. With Limbaugh, the guilty party on the foul, her third personal. Van Otterloo coming in for Spear. And Van de Waal checking in for Armitage for Humboldt. And this has been by far the most lopsided game Humboldt has been on the wrong end of so far this year, down 54-21. Van de Waal long 2, and she swishes it from just inside that 3-point arc. Boy, that's been the best Humboldt shot so far tonight. Those long 2s as Fisher hit one earlier, and then Van de Waal got one right there. Sometimes those long mid-range shots are going to be the only thing you can get against this Bulldog defense as Lentz short on the jumper. Rebound got volleyballed outside to Vincent with 18 seconds left in the quarter. Vincent deals onto the block. Illig powers it up, no. Limbaugh, an in-traffic rebound, got deflected right back to Illig, though, who lays it in. Limbaugh had her mitts on it, but couldn't control it as we're down to 8 seconds left in the quarter. 54-25 Algona. Lentz opens up for a tray, and it bounces off the cup, no good. Rebound knocked out of bounds by Smith. And the Bulldogs have 0.4 seconds on the clock. You can tip it in, or you can catch and shoot. I think 0.4 is the smallest amount of time you can catch and shoot into Limbaugh. She tried to go for the tip there, but a heady play by Engstrom. She knew Limbaugh would try to tip it, so she herself tipped the ball away and sort of beat Limbaugh to it there for hands. In spite of that, it is all Bulldogs tonight, leading 54-25 in this battle of Highway 169. We'll head to the fourth quarter right after this on Home Country Radio KLGZ and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
High school sports on Hometown Home Country Radio. Brought to you by these sports club members.
Countryside Barbecue Sauce, 2 sauces for all seasons.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance. Visit their studio or danceconnectionbymichelle.com.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
Dump It, Kossuth County's local and reliable waste service provider for commercial and residential customers.
Albert Electric, flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Erpelding Excavating Enterprises. Let them take care of your grading, excavating, and drainage needs.
Fairway, everything's easier, fresher, and faster with Algona Fairway.
All bringing you this game.
Start of the fourth quarter from Algona High School as the Algona Bulldogs are well on their way to win number 6 in a row. They lead the Humboldt Wildcats 54-25 here on Home Country Radio KLGZ. Bulldogs have the ball to start the fourth quarter. Humboldt playing a 2-3 zone as Van Otterloo deals over to Lentz. Limbaugh trying to get post-up position inside as the Bulldogs probe it around the perimeter. Lentz high post to Dunning. Underneath to Limbaugh, makes the catch and draws the foul. Got hacked from behind by Anderson as Limbaugh will shoot a pair of free throws. Another good high-low look by the Bulldog offense. Good job rotating the basketball around the perimeter, then get that high post touch for Dunning, who found Limbaugh underneath. And the good passing of Dunning continues, who's over 2 assists per game. Limbaugh free throw good, as she has 14 points tonight. The Bulldogs have a 55-25 advantage. After this, folks, the regular season winds down very quickly. Just 5 more regular season games after tonight for Algona, as Limbaugh hits them both. Algona plays at Webster City tomorrow night. They host Clarion Goldfield Dows Monday, go to Charles City on Tuesday. A week from Friday, they'll host Hampton Dumont Cal, and then Tuesday of next week, they'll play Humboldt in Humboldt, and that'll be it for the regular season as the Bulldogs force the Humboldt turnover. They'll get it up ahead to Lentz. Same sort of story for Humboldt as their regular season winds down with the final 6 games for them. Cross-court feed to McLaughlin on the right side wing, up to Van Otterloo, looks for Lentz, squares for a 3, and she arcs it in! Perfect shot by Maya Lentz. Maya Lentz now the 3rd Bulldog in double digits. She has 11 tonight. And this is now the 10th time this season Algona's had 3 or more players score 10-plus points. 3-point shot no good. Van Otterloo, though, can't control the rebound as it gets knocked out of bounds with 6:58 left in the fourth quarter. Humboldt's upcoming schedule. They will visit Clear Lake tomorrow night. It's not too often Algona fans root for Humboldt to win in a sports contest, but I can tell you every Algona fan will be rooting for Humboldt to win that game against Clear Lake and give the Bulldogs a little freebie to try to get into first place by themselves in the NCC. Won't be easy, of course, against the Lion team that has proven itself to be a formidable foe. After that, Humboldt plays St. Edmund, Iowa Falls, Alden, Charles City, Algona, and Newell Fonda to end the regular season. That Newell Fonda game on February 12th for the Humboldt Wildcats, and a makeup from an earlier postponement. McLaughlin left side corner for Algona, wants the baseline. Fisher does a good job taking it away, and McLaughlin trying to save it in, threw it right to Vinsand with 6:29 left in the fourth quarter. Vanderwall calling for the ball, rotating it to Elman, drives in left baseline, trying to shovel that shot up, and Van Otterloo commits the foul. She was just a little bit late, step late there getting to the baseline. That allowed Elman to get through, and the 5'6" senior will shoot a pair of free throws. Elman, a 53% foul shooter this season. About 3 points, 3 rebounds per game for Humboldt. As the first one deflects off to the left, no good. The score stays 59-25. Well, don't forget, I'll mention this. Plug a little programming coming up. We've got Bulldog Girls Wrestling tomorrow as Brian Wilson will be heading to Nevada. That's going to be a big-time postseason environment there. Bulldogs, of course, in the 2A postseason this year, heading to regionals as there's the pivot by Dunning, and she banks it home for the left side block. An excellent night by Bella Jo Dunning continues to make it 61-25. But that'll start at 4. You can check it out on the Algona Radio YouTube channel as Brian's making that big trip to Nevada, not to be confused with Nevada, for that contest. Van Otterloo rebounds the Humboldt missed shot. Foul committed by Elman on the play with 5:57 left. Yeah, Bulldog girls wrestling team. You look at IA Wrestle or some other publications as far as rankings go. They certainly have the potential to be a top 5 team in Class 2A this year, depending on how things play out. But a lot of talent and a lot of junior talent as well. Talent that'll be around for a couple of years with this Bulldog girls wrestling program. Much like the basketball team, a lot of junior talent on that as well. Just a good junior sports class here for this Bulldog girls athletic program. Ball out of bounds, goes back to Humboldt. Wildcats will slowly matriculate some players off the bench. Adeline Vincent, the 5'9 junior, in for the first time today. Also checking in, Ellen Olsen, the 5'8 freshman, as Vanderwall goes to the bench. Anderson also checking out for Humboldt with 5:16 left. And a 61-25 Algona lead. It has been a long time since we've seen this kind of margin in this Battle of Highway 169. As Vincent works the dribble and trying to wrestle the ball away is Van Otterloo. She'll force the tie-up with 5 minutes left. And a running clock situation if Algona over that 35-point barrier. Van Tiger coming back in for the Bulldogs. Last time an Algona versus Humboldt game has been decided by 30-plus points in either direction. You have to go back to December 13th of 2019 when Algona beat Humboldt 73-41 that season. Tracking down the loose balls, Fisher for Humboldt. Held on single digits so far today. Tried to change that with a line drive shot from the lane. Right-handed, but it doesn't go. Rebound picked up by Spear. McLaughlin out to Lentz, running the floor, and she beat the defense down the floor, but missed the layup as late contest was there by Elman. Rebound controlled by Humboldt. They'll get it up to Fisher. Working the right side baseline of 4:15 left. Out to Elman. Dribbles left across the foul line. Pass looking for Vincent, but it's a little wide of the mark, and out of bounds with 4:08 left in the fourth quarter. Algona will start to call it the dunks too. Hayden McLaughlin goes to the bench. Maya Lentz and Gabby Van Tiger have all checked out. Actually, looks like Van Tiger will stay in. Limbaugh will go to the bench. You've got Cassidy Bierstedt coming in for the Bulldogs as Bierstedt's the 5'8 junior. Also checking in, the 5'4 freshman Bella Fairbanks. McKenna Ellsbecker in the ballgame along with Emma Spear, that is, and Gabby Van Tiger also staying in the ballgame here for Algona with 3:35 left. Spear works the ball over to Fairbanks. Fairbanks bumps into the body of Vincent, and that'll be a foul on Vincent. On the floor for Humboldt, their third of the quarter, with 3:25 left in this one. Wildcats bring the freshman Charlie Smith into the ball game as Fisher will wrap up a frustrating night of 9 points. The Bulldogs did a great job on her defensively. Grace Illig, the 5'4 freshman, also in for Humboldt. Bulldogs working around the perimeter. Here's Fairbanks. Gets it to Spear, now to Van Tiger. Out to Ellsbecker, sees a three that she likes, and she buries it! McKenna Ellsbecker, her third made three of the season, and the Bulldogs up 64-25. What a fun night for this Bulldog offense. It slowed down a little bit here in the second half, but by that point, they had well enough of a margin against Humboldt to salt this game away as pass pinballs away from Illig, picked up by the Bulldogs as here comes Ellsbecker into the forecourt, fires to Bierstedt, passes off her fingertips right to Van Tiger for Algona. Into Bierstedt, right side block, powers it up, left the shot short as Olsen stayed vertical in front of her, and out for the rebound is Humboldt. Here's Smith twirling 316 to the front court with 2:20 left. Into the lane to Olsen, running the floor and missing on the layup, and Van Tiger wrestles that rebound away. Give me that basketball, she says. Van Tiger runs the floor and deals to Ellsbecker. Cross-court feed to Fairbanks. The little head fake, shimmies into the lane, rises up and missed the shot off the front of the rack. Bierstedt clean up and she puts it in for two. 66-25 Algona. A whistle here as Bulldogs will continue to empty out the bench. Kylie Crone, the 5'10 freshman, has entered the ball game. Leah Divis, the 5'9 junior, also checking in. Bulldogs had 6 players on the floor there for a second, and Coach McLaughlin saying, yeah, McKenna Ellsbecker, your time has come too. Time to check out of this game. A 66-25 Algona lead. Smith almost blew a tire there on the right wing, slipping on the floor. Regains her balance though and works around to the left. Passes short corner to Illig. Then into the lane towards Smith. Knocked out of bounds by Divis with 1:24 left in this one. Like we said, the Bulldogs will take on Webster City tomorrow night. Humboldt will take on Clear Lake, that is. They'd probably rather be playing Clarion tomorrow night after the way tonight ended up playing out. As the short-range jumper misses and the Bulldogs control the rebound. 66-25. Pass goes near side of the court. Fairbanks working up top, fighting Crone. Crone guarded by Smith. She pivots around with 58 seconds left. Returns it near side of the court to Laney Stuke, who has entered the ballgame as well for Algona. Stuke feeds it into the Bierstedt high post. Out to Fairbanks with the drive, the runner, missed off to the left. Fight for the rebound, tapped out of bounds there. Last touch by Bierstedt as she and Olsen were battling down there for the board. Boy, Bella Fairbanks, even though she didn't make that shot, you love to see that kind of quickness that she has off the bench. She's been impressive in her very limited minutes here as a freshman. Playing really well in the JV games too, but brings a lot of speed to the floor for Algona and some very shifty playing from that point guard spot. 24 seconds left in this one. Bierstedt for the knockaway, and Fairbanks grabs the loose basketball, but then traveled with the ball. She tried to loosen herself from a thicket of Humboldt defenders. Final time's going to wind up the clock here as Wildcats will have one more possession. Inbounds play picked off by Fairbanks with 3 seconds left. Then ball goes out of bounds back to Humboldt as the final seconds tick away. And it's a dominant win in the Battle of Highway 169. Wire to wire, the Bulldogs control this game, winning tonight 66-25, and the win streak continues. Night after night, this Bulldog team just finds a way to get it done. They've won 6 in a row, and they improved to 13-4 on the season, 9-1 in the NCC for their 6th straight win. Humboldt will drop their 3rd game in a row. They'll fall below 500 at 7-8 and go to 3-5 in the North Central Conference. We will step aside for a timeout, come back to wrap it up with our final stats after this on Home Country Radio KLGZ 98.5 FM at AM 1600.
High school sports on Hometown Home Country Radio. Brought to you by these sports club members.
American Glass for all your glass